And we're now streaming. And I've just realized that after all of my machinations with getting this set up, I don't think you have a way to view the chat comments, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay, so that I might be able to help you with if you give me 1 second. And
Hmm.
as folks are trickling in, they're going to be wondering what's going on here, and we'll explain all of that to them as they join. If you just give me 1 second, if you open up this URL,
Hmm.
are you on the Make WordPress Slack by any chance?
No, I'm
No.
not.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly just open up a new tab, take it off screen, and email you a link,
Okay.
which should give you, if you open it up in a window, it should give you the chat. This is effectively
Hmm.
the window that I have set up in OBS, which enables the chat window. So I'm going to open that, and I'm going to give you that. So if you open this URL that I've just sent over to you, you should effectively see the chat. Let me know how that goes. While you're doing that, I'm going to welcome everybody who has joined us so far. Emily and I are experimenting a little bit today with streaming ourselves in a Google Meet window to try and allow Emily to interact with me and for me to interact with her. Welcome, Emily. It's lovely to meet you. Um,
Thank you so much for having me.
no problem.
It's my pleasure.
Uh, Let me know how you're doing with that chat
I've got the
URL.
chat up.
Okay,
No problem. Yep.
so if I send a message, hello chat, you get it.
Hmm. Yep.
Okay, excellent, great. So now you can see the chat as well. That's wonderful. Um, I don't know if you've ever done a live stream. I tend
No.
to ignore the fact that people are just randomly listening to me, and I just kind of get on with things. And then I wait for people to say hello in the chat, and that's one of the reasons why 2 weeks ago when I forgot to start the stream, I didn't realize nobody was watching because I just thought, oh, the chat's very quiet. Um, so I'm just going to do that today, and you're welcome to comment on anything you see me doing, or ask me questions, or tell me that what I'm doing is wrong. But I'm effectively going to be rather rude and slightly ignore the fact that you're there today. I do apologize in advance for doing that to you. I'm just going to also change something quickly here. So what I'm going to do, Emily, is I'm going to pin myself to the main screen now. And what that'll
Okay.
do is that will give folks my view. And then if you and I start having a chat about something, then I'll just switch back over and sort of side
Hmm.
by side us and all that kind of thing. It'll just make things a little bit easier, I think. So I'm just trying to. Anybody watching right now is probably wondering, what am I doing? Okay, there we go. That actually works better. That works better. How do you feel about that layout? I don't know if you can see the. Oh, you're not watching the live stream, so you can't see it. Okay, sorry. So what I've got now in the live stream is I've got myself taking up half of the window, the share screen the other half, and you the other half. It was 2/3. So I think that's going to work a little bit better. I'm basically being very, very rude and taking up most of the screen real estate. So I apologize for sticking you in a corner.
No, I prefer the corner. That's fine.
Okay. Um, cool. So we've got StuDev. Hello, StuDev, who's joining us today. We've got some other folks filtering in. Welcome, everybody. For those of you who haven't noticed, we're doing things slightly different today. Emily has kindly offered to join us today and possibly future sessions. Yes, no, maybe.
Sure.
Cool. I literally came up with the idea last night. I was sitting home, sort of preparing for today. Um, and so Emily, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was preparing for today, and I was going. I know there are these four square block things in the footer, and I don't know how I'm possibly necessarily going to implement those yet. And I'm sure you have some opinions about that. And I thought, what better way to get you involved in the process than getting you to join me? um, So that's where the idea came from. And I sent Emily an email last night and I said, would you mind joining us? And she was very kind to say yes, she's keen. So we kind of very quickly set this up. So I've kind of put the Google Meet window where we're chatting in the corner. If anybody knows of a better way to do this, a better way for me to get Emily to join the stream, we've had to kind of do all kinds of workarounds so that she can see the screen, but so that we can interact with each other and so that I can also have the music in the background, which I think, Emily, you probably can't hear because you're not listening to the stream, which might be kind of weird, but I don't think it's the end of the world. If anybody has any ideas on how to do that better, please do let me know. And I'll try and plan it better for it next week. This week, we discussed last week that I'd probably start looking at building out the templates. I think I said that I would start by adding some page content for the menu and then building the footer template. So today will be a little bit of that, hopefully. And the page content, I probably might be able to do myself. But then the footer template is the part that I'm a little bit worried about. So I'm wondering if maybe it's worth looking at that first. So that's where I think I'm going to start today. So let's have a look at the design, which is in Figma, very kindly provided by Emily, which was very awesome of you, I say. And so I'm talking about, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, but I'm talking about these little blocks at the bottom here. How would you implement those in
those
HTML?
I was actually just thinking of just the social media block.
Oh, okay, the social media block.
So it's actually pretty simple.
Got it. Okay, that's much easier than what I was planning.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I was thinking I was wondering, like, are we going to do this as an SVG? For some reason, I had in my brain last night. Maybe this is why I shouldn't plan things before I go to bed at night. But I had them as thicker bordered like icons, and it was stressing me out knowing. So I'm so glad that I've got you here and you answered that question for me.
You're welcome.
I should have done this with you from the word go. Okay, so let's.
I think it's a good example, though, of how designers and developers need to communicate about these things.
Absolutely. And oh, look, a whole bunch of errors. I know why those are there. Yes, no, you're so right. I don't think I even thought about this when I started planning these streams, but I have never in my entire working career created a theme or a front end without being interactive with the designer. And I almost want to sort of shoot myself at thinking that I was going to be able to do these live streams without you. So I'm so glad you're here. So thank you for joining me. Hopefully we'll be able to figure this out as we go. Hey, Aruba. Yeah, as we were saying earlier, an idea that just was born out of my stress last night has now turned into an awesome collaboration, which I think is really, really cool. We're gonna need to add you as a speaker credit on the meetup for sure, Emily. Okay. There are a bunch of errors on my WordPress site, and that is because I think I have switched this site over to PHP 8, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it's running PHP 8, and these exactly were the kind of errors that I didn't want to have to see when I was working on this. It's on 8.1, which is why the errors are happening. So I'm just very quickly going to switch that back to 7.4. Those of you who were here for the first session will remember I used 7.4 when I first set this up. So I'm just going to quickly change this if I can remember how my environment works. There we go. Let's fix this quickly. I could switch this to 8.0. I'm too lazy to do that today. 7.4 will do. That should fix that problem. Okay, still on 7.4.
Hey, Jonathan, my chat stopped working.
So I think what happens there is it doesn't keep the chat history.
Okay.
After a few seconds, it clears out. So if anybody in the chat would like to say hi to Emily and let her know that you are still there, give us a message so that Emily can see it's still working. If it doesn't, then we'll figure it out. But it does. If you watch the live stream later, it does that on my chat window as well. There might be a setting that I'm missing to cause that from happening.
Thanks.
Okay, there we go. Right. Yeah, I don't know what it is. For some reason, after a few seconds, it clears the last messages.
Mm.
So I'm not sure why that happens. Okay. Right. So we're here, we're here, we're here, and we'll go back and we'll go and we'll do some editing. Okay. So the footer. Now, Emily, the other question I wanted to ask you is, when we look at this horizontal line here, that well,
Mhm.
slightly skewed horizontal line, did you envision this as being part of the footer, or did you envision this being part of the page content?
I think that's part of the footer.
Part of the footer. Okay, so we'll include
Yeah.
that. We'll include that as part of the footer. Okay, excellent. So I think then what I'll start by doing is just including sort of the horizontal spacer, and then we'll look at styling it, and we'll look at doing the horizontal, the sort of the skewing of it once we've got that all in there. But let's go and have a look at that footer template part. Okay, so we have got the sending title there. We've got the 4 blocks there. We've got Powerly Powered by WordPress there. So if we go and edit this and we open up the group, and there's a group within a group within a group, now I've got to remember how to do all of this. So what I seem to recall is that if I transform this to a row, then we can put things next to each other. That's what I seem to recall. And I'm going to insert the, I made that a row. I want this inside. There we go. And then I want this to be the site title, which will be there. Okay, that looks, I think, a little bit too big. I just want to, and it's all uppercase. Now here's going to be an interesting question. Does this style enable me to make it all uppercase?
It's actually not under appearance, it's the letter case section,
Oh,
kind
there
of
we
at the
go.
bottom.
There we got it. Thank you. Okay, there we go. All uppercase. Awesome. So you know more about this than I do. Why did you do the streams? um,
That's okay.
and then so this is using the default appearance. So this is actually something I found interesting about the block editor. I can't tell. This is using the H1.
Mhm.
Did you have a specific heading?
Well, it really shouldn't be an H1
Hmm,
since you only need one of those on your page,
correct.
right? So
So what do you
I
normally
think that you
use?
can change that. Um, I would probably just use paragraph and then
This is
style it that way.
okay. Okay, perfect. So let's do that. And then I'm just having a look here. So I am not used to using Figma or Sketch. So I'm just looking, here we go, here we go, here we go. So the font is Leak Spartan, the weight is 800, which now I'm going to have to go back and have a look. Okay, let me open up the right project first. This is what happens when you're so focused on getting the Google Meet window working with the live stream, you forget to get everything else that you normally have set up. Okay, here we go. No, I don't need all of that. This is all stuff I was working on in the week. That's the header. There's the theme JSON. There we go. Okay. Now here's a pure example of why you shouldn't develop a theme 1 hour a week over however many weeks, as you forget what the different font sizes are. Okay, so we had 700 and 900. Back to where were the styles? Here we go.
I should say too that I am not a pixel perfect designer, so if I expect things to change in the browser, you know.
Okay, cool. That's really nice to know. So I'm looking. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm looking at the footer here,
Mhm.
and it's according to Figma, the font weight is 800. In the
Yep.
styles, we have 700 and 900. Should I import the
Yep.
800 weights, or should we just pick one of those and then go from there?
Just pick 7 or 9. That's
Okay.
fine.
Well,
Yeah.
let's go and pick 700 then. This is interesting. I think I did mention this last week. This is that issue with the fact that all of the options appear. So what I just do is I want to just open up create block theme and manage my theme fonts. Here we go. So it's the second last one, 700. I made a note of this somewhere. I'm going to have to... Did I make a note of this? I don't think I did. City boy. Okay, let me just go back here. It was bold. Okay, bold, bold, bold. So let's go back here and we'll go here. I have to say, I don't know about you, but I do appreciate how I can just click on the template to go straight in the template. Quite like that. Okay, so the appearance was bold. And then let's go back to the theme. So that's on that side, that's on that side. So we want to move this around. So this, now I need to remember how this works. I think it's just the align. No, it's not the align text. It is
So the
the,
row is actually a flex
yes,
component, so you can have it space apart.
that's correct. Yes. No, this one. Space between items. There we go. Yes, that's the one. Awesome. Thank you. And then this font over here is 400, which is... So we've got 300 and 500, light and medium. I think I'll go with medium for now.
Sorry, that's typical of me.
No, not at all. Not at all. So I see that... Oh, this is probably... That's interesting. If I click on the paragraph... Now, this looks like a block editor thing. If I click on the paragraph... Oh, this is probably because... Hang on, have I set... Okay, sorry. Yeah, I don't know about anybody else here, but all of the stuff that I'm saying out loud is how my brain works when I'm developing. And so if I'm jumping around all over the place, I apologize, but that's how I do things. It's very erratic. Did I set... Let me save this. Did I set the default text? I did. Yes, I did set that. Now, what's interesting is if I edit... Excuse me, folks, still coughing a little bit. If I edit... wrong window. If I edit this, I don't seem to be able to change the font weight.
I think under typography, the more kebab, probably, yeah.
Oh, right. So you've got to enable it. Yes. Okay. Can you tell I don't work with the site editor every single day? Okay. So that will make, what was that? Medium. Yeah, medium was 500. Okay. So let's go back to that page. So it looks to me like, of course, there's the size as well. So this one is 44 pixels. This one is 18 pixels. So let's see what it ends up looking like. I'm going to move that over there. So this one, we'll see what 44 looks like. Yeah, that's 44. And then
So
this.
I wondered too about the font scale.
Mm-hmm.
So we probably shouldn't use pixels for fonts
Okay. Okay.
because then it's not going to be scalable, and
Okay.
especially when people resize their window.
Okay.
So I know that you can do it in the theme JSON. You can create like a clamp scale
Okay.
for all fonts.
Okay.
So I'd recommend that
Okay.
direction.
Okay. So then you're going to have to teach me that because I know nothing about clamping. Literally, I discovered clamping for the first time when I was working on the theme course, and I was working on one of the I think it was 2023. So can we find a middle ground and open an issue for let's go with pixels now, and then as a later stage we'll figure out what it
Mhm.
should be. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I might say like you could try the small, medium, large options
Okay.
because then those might inherit whatever you end up changing in
Oh, I
theme
see what you're
JSON.
saying. Okay. So how do you feel about extra large then?
Sure,
That's
that
the
looks
biggest.
good.
That's the biggest we have. And then if we go this one and we say maybe small,
Hmm.
because that'll give you that kind of look and feel. And we want now, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I look at, okay, so this is kind of the bottom of the title is kind of in line with the middle of the text, which This kind of
You,
looks good. I don't know. Do you feel like we need to move
it's
this?
probably a couple pixels off. I think you can also align self. So if you, or even if you select the whole row, can
Mm-hmm.
you do like a vertical alignment? I'm not sure.
Okay. So there's.
In the like menu above
Oh,
WordPress right now. Yeah, that.
okay.
So it's center aligned right now, that middle one, but you can align bottom if you want to.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. So now that's okay. So that's a line top. That's a line middle. That's a line bottom. And then does that
There's
check?
probably some padding on the paragraph. Um, it's usually
So are you saying there's currently some padding, or we need to add some padding?
there probably is some just by
Okay.
default,
Okay.
like a block end padding.
Okay. Got it. Um, Probably on this, I see the site title probably has some padding as well.
Hmm.
Okay. Doesn't look like. Okay, let's just save this quickly. And let's go and have a look at. Okay, that's the paragraph. And let's just have a look at the site title. My word, are these things seriously not alphabetical? Wow. That feels like a bug. That definitely
So,
feels.
Jonathan, I also just added in chat a link to utopia.fyi, which is a really useful resource to create a fluid sizing for your fonts.
Okay. Let me just open that up. Okay. Now this is where my idea to have Chrome open for this is not a good one, because now I have to make sure it happens here. Okay. Okay, cool. I'm going to leave that open for now while I figure this out. So I'm looking at the layout here, and it looks like there's no specific padding applied to the block, but there's definitely something happening around
Hmm.
the site title. Um, Sorry, I'm just going to switch back to
Or
WordPress here.
margin, rather.
Or
So I
margin.
think if you were to inspect the live page, you'd probably see
Hmm.
like 1.5 rem
So let's have a look.
bottom margin.
Let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, come on. Oh, there we go. Okay. Excuse me. Ba-doop. Man, it's been such a long time since I've done something like this. Here we go. So there's that. There's that. Uh,
Oh, maybe not.
doesn't look like it, but there's definitely maybe that is just the way it's default to. Um, I'm gonna be totally honest. This is one area where I tend to not play it a lot. So I just want to align that. So that's what that looks like. I mean, there's a couple of ways we could do this. We could add some
Mm.
things. It's the line height probably. Aruba, do you want to join the Google Meet? Get everyone on board. It's the line height. So the line height of
Hmm.
the title, I'm guessing. So let's have a look here. It could be the title, or it could be this could be inheriting it
Hmm.
um, from the header. So just want to see what happens if we go 1 point. Let's make it 1.1. Okay, yeah, that does seem to be the thing that's happening. So if we make it 0.2, 0.3, 4.5, just want to check what I'm doing here. This is still, that's still line bottom. Okay, let's go back to the site title. Okay, I think that looks a little bit better.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's looking okay. Well, yeah, that's looking good. So thank you, Aruba, for pointing that out. I'm going to save that as is. And then the last thing is putting in these. So I think, do you agree, Emily, this would make a good example for popping it into another group or another row below this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's see if we can add a row there. Okay. And let's see if this will be quick and easy. If this does work out quick and easy and wonderfully, I'm going to be super happy. But we want the social icons. I'm guessing you meant this one, or did you mean the individual ones?
No, that's right.
That's right. Okay. That one. Okay. And it looks like we might have to add them. So I'm trying to close this out. All right. Well, let's start with WordPress. And now they're very square. Can I make these not so square? So let's see. Okay, let's see what options we've got here. Default, logos only, pull shape. Not much in the way of options, are there?
I would probably do logos only and then do a custom style to give it a border or something like that.
Okay, okay, got it. So let's add that one so long. I just want to see something quickly. I want to just see what happens if I add, for example, Twitter. Let's see what that does. Oh no, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. No.
So with the social icons block, it kind of creates its own little mini row. So you would kind of go back to social icons and then you get the plus sign again, so you can keep adding other icons to that
okay.
group.
So if it creates a mini row, do we need to have it inside a row?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was just thinking that too. Probably
that's
not.
actually maybe a good point. We could probably take this out. There we go. Okay, I think that's nice. Okay, so I'm just curious to see what other options we have here. So we've got the justification, orientation, allow wrap. Okay, default logos only, pull shape. Okay, so logos only, and then somehow style them with a border of some kind. Okay, so let's do that for now, and then let's see what other icons we have that we can add. Where did you want to group the site title and social icons then? That's excuse me, that's possibly a good question. Let's see what happens if we do that. So we would probably want to put that inside of another group.
I think you could just move social icons above that paragraph there and then group site title and icons within that row.
Okay, so can we, does the site editor allow you to multiple select and group things? I think it does. Watch Jonathan fumble his way around. How do you group things?
You select both, and then you should see a new.
And how do you?
Or you could just insert a group before and then stick them both in.
No, I want to do it the other way. How do you select both? Which is it, like a keyboard combination?
I think so. I think it's just like Command or Shift. I can't think now that I'm not doing it.
Shift. There we go. Shift.
Yeah.
Got it. Awesome. Okay.
And now you have the group options there.
That's kind of cool. And would they be stacked or a group?
So they would be stacked.
Yeah. Hey. But this will change. Okay. That's cool. That's fine. Hit Shift. Got it. See, and this is the downside about the chat, is the chat is delayed. Um, so so I'm glad that I've got Emily here. Maybe we should invite Aruba next time as well. Then she can help us out. Okay, so that does that. But now this obviously affects this over here, which we need to now change. Um, so I wonder what happens if we take the row and we change it to a line. That we could do. And so here's I don't know what the right way to go about this. Should we align everything to the top and then push the paragraph down using some padding? Does that make sense? Or is there a better way to do this?
That's probably what I would do, but Aruba may have a better
Well, I'm
idea.
glad to say that's probably what you would do because that's definitely what I would do, but it feels like a hack. It definitely feels
Hmm.
like a hack
Oh
to me.
yeah, I think that's true of a lot of things though in the block editor for me right now.
Okay,
Like there are, maybe temporary hacky
okay,
solutions to
okay,
things.
got it. Okay, so let's have a look here. Now, what's also interesting is that there's this gap here between the site title, which is not the end of the world, I suppose, if there's a gap there. So now, see, I could use the line. Good grief.
Yeah.
I could use the line height there and change that. See what that does. But how hacky is, and this is my problem being somebody who's more of a backend developer. I never know how hacky whatever I'm doing is. Um, like, is it hacky to set like a massive line height like that so that it aligns the way you want it to?
I mean,
Um,
if it works, it works.
I'm so glad you said that. I feel like half of my I've never been a designer type. I've never been somebody who's good with design, and so I feel like half of my design. This is, you know what? There used to be a thing in Photoshop back in the day where you could drag a ruler down and you would. And there was a browser extension that did it, but I literally in the old days I used to sit with a piece of paper and I used to line things up like this with a piece of paper on my screen.
Hmm. Hmm.
But there used to be a. I want to go now. I'm off on a tangent. Sorry for grid lines, Chrome extension, grid ruler. That's the one. It's been such a long time since I've used these things. Good grief. Add to Brave.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there we go. And then if we go back here, and then we go, where's that grid? This one? No, where was it? Where was it? Out there. Grid ruler. There we go. There we go.
Oh cool.
I used to use this so much back in the day because I cannot for the life of me see when it's aligned or not. So now let's have a look here. Let's see the way that let's make sure we've aligned it the way Emily wanted to align it in the first place. We're gonna go hardcore here, people. So Emily
It looks like
has.
my design is even like a couple pixels off, so
That's perfectly fine. I'm going pixel perfect according to your design.
okay,
We can always tweak it later. I just want to see
I
what
deserve
Aruba
that.
says. Aruba says, oh wait, I see I didn't look closely at the design on my screen, so the paragraph is only aligned to the bottom of the title. That's what it looks like, yes, and that's what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to align I'm going to make it the way Emily and I both agree it probably should be, which is where the title and the paragraph are aligned to the bottom. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. If you don't, we can fight about it later. So let's go 6, 7, 8, probably 5 actually. Yeah, 5 is, I think 5 is
So
getting there.
what happens with that? Well, I guess that's not so bad in mobile too. You'd still just have some kind of extra margin around it.
That's a very good question. Let us turn this off and let us save this. And then now I need to remember how this works. I know there's a way that you can view these things in mobile. Can't you? Or am I losing my mind? Let's go back
I
to the.
haven't tried that.
I know. I know the post and page editor allows you to view in mobile. I don't remember whether there it is. I think yeah, you got to be in a template. So let us go and view this. And then you can say you want to view it in tablet mode. So then it basically just does like a browser, resize. So let's see what that does for the footer. It's probably going to look terrible. You watch. I've hacked this so badly. It's not too bad. It's still pretty decent in tablet mode. Aruba says, "I see that I wouldn't group the title icons." It's fine, Aruba. We're going to just blame you if it all goes wrong. Okay, yeah, the proudly powered by press breaks terribly in mobile.
Did we say that the row is allowed to wrap?
That's a good question. I don't know. Let's have a look. So let's go back to the dashboard. Let's go back to the editor. Something that I can definitely see improving going forward is the fact that I have to have a tab open for the theme files, a tab open to view the template to see what the footer does. And then if I want to edit it, I've got to kind of go through this process again. I can definitely see some improvements there. Okay, so you said the row to wrap. Where would I allow to wrap to multiple lines? Is that one?
Yep.
There we go. This is so much easier having you on the call. I don't know why I didn't do this in the first place. Okay, so let's save that. And then I guess we refresh this. Review on mobile. I really do like the fact that I can just view this on mobile from the editor, I have to say. Okay, that does work. The line height, maybe, I don't know, but I think that's okay for now. What do you think, Emily?
Yeah, looks good.
Aruba says, watching this on my computer is so much nicer. Were you watching on a laptop screen, Aruba? Okay, so I think that works. So now we're going to have to, so you're saying this is going to need some styling, some custom styling to get those borders. Okay. Here's a question. I was on my phone before. Oh, okay. Yes, no, I wouldn't recommend watching a live stream on your phone. But I'm glad to know you're waking up in your morning with us and designing along with us. So here's a question that I'm going to ask you, Emily. When you design a theme, for example, in this instance where we've got these 4 social icons, would you add sort of the 4 major ones and then people can come in later and make their changes, or would you just put like one in and then let them add theirs later?
I would do multiple, I think.
Okay.
I like to be more explicit with people.
So let's go ahead and let's add, I mean, Twitter, I guess people are still using Twitter. Let's add, what's another good one?
You got to put your Twitch in there.
Oh yes, let's do Twitch. And then, so I see they're all specifically colored. Did you envision this? Did you envision the logos having their own colors, or did you envision them being one color?
I think they should probably be one color.
Okay. I agree with you on that one as well, and probably the dark color that we're using for the files and things. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. And then let's just add one more for the sake of being fun. I mean, some people still use Facebook, so let's just add Facebook. Okay. So.
Maybe we should put Mastodon instead of Facebook, just to represent.
That's probably a good idea. So let's do Mastodon. Okay, so let's leave it like that for now. I think that's a good representation, and that also goes nicely with the 4 that you had. So that's perfect. All right, let's save this, and let me write this to my theme files so that I don't lose all of these changes. I still need to do this automatic writing thing. I was thinking of trying to create a file, sort of a database watcher, similar to a file watcher, that monitors the database for changes to the template pages, the global styles and all that kind of thing. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to do that, but I was thinking about doing it that way. Anyway, I'm going to do it manually for now. Okay, so that's made a bunch of changes. Let's have a look at what those changes were. I just want to see what's happening in the theme JSON. Okay, so we've got all of that there. I don't think much would have changed here. Yeah, we added some line height to the site title, which is probably okay. That's about all that we changed there. And then the rest we did in the footer. So let's go and have a look at that. Content, themes, Sendig. Every time I see that name now, part of me smiles, knowing how you came up with that name. I think it's inspired. I really do.
Oh, thanks.
No, I really do. I think it's like I thought it was something like it had a German heritage or something, and then the fact that it was just really the letters from the
That's
word
just
design.
a bonus that it
Yeah,
has that kind
I
of
love it. I
design
love it. I love it.
sound.
I am terrible at coming up with names, so I really respect folks who can come up with unique names. I've started using. So I used to use. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent, but it's my live stream. I used to use John, Paul, George, and Ringo as my sort of test names when I was testing forms and things. So the names of the Beatles. Lately, I've started using my colleagues' names at automatic. So there's Ben and Sarah and Wes and Courtney, because I'm terrible at coming up with names. So yeah. Okay. So there's the footer. That's all looking interesting. Okay. So we're going to do some kind of border around these. We're also going to apply some kind of color. I want to just have a look and see if the social, no, not there. The social icons block has any additional styling. Oh, come on. Okay, sorry. This is now the developer in me. I have to know if this is a bug or not. So I'm opening an issue to say investigate ordering of blocks in the styles interface. And I'm going to go digging and finding out if there's an open issue around whether or not these are alphabetical, and if they aren't, I'm going to open it, because I have to say that going to blocks and then having paragraph and then image and then heading and then gallery is really, really
Mm.
inefficient. Because I just want to
I'm
go.
sure that there were meetings about that. I
The
mean, it's kind of the most common, frequently used things, maybe at top.
Absolutely, I'm surprised that it is not alphabetical. I am a I'm a nerd when it comes to organizing my folder structure on my computer, and I have to have things in an order that I can find things easily, because I can't keep all of it in my brain. And having it not alphabetical to me is just, there's a problem somewhere. Okay, so we can add additional CSS to the block, which is probably going to be useful to changing the color. It
I
does.
think you can actually change the color within that social icons
Oh,
block too.
there, yes. Okay, that's very cool. Thank you for pointing that out. So let's see if we that color. Oh no, that. Why is it? No. Oh, okay. Oh, in the block itself. Okay,
Yeah.
hang on. Come on, Boston. Use your brain. There. Okay. Yay! Theme color. Woo! Sorry, I have to jump up and down. That was really cool for me. Being able to do that from the block editor is just really cool.
Hmm.
I think I'm also going to change the spacing a little bit. I don't know. Maybe yes, no. I don't know. I don't know. I'll leave it as default and leave the icon color. Go back to logos only. How do you? I can do padding and margin as well, which is cool. Okay. Um,
I wonder, I wonder if you can enable borders. I know it only works for some blocks,
hmm.
but if you could enable borders, then the user could change those,
Right.
you know.
So that, I'm guessing, would be in the styles interface for that block. So let's go and have a look. Good grief. Fine, I'll type out social. Okay, let's have a look. Layout. Layout just has padding, margin, and block spacing by the looks of it.
It might be something in theme JSON that you can like turn on for certain blocks.
Oh,
So
I
like
see.
core
Oh, I
social
see.
icons.
I see. I see. I see. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can find anything. I wonder if. I wonder if. Styles blocks. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me just see if I can do some research on this. Blocks enable border. Blocks advanced setting panel. Border settings. Border control. No. So it looks like this might be something that would need to be added, maybe. I don't know. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to investigate that as well. I don't want to waste too much time on it today. Although maybe we could...
I think the full site editing website does have a little
Carolina's
section
one.
on borders, so you just have to set it to true within that core block, but it doesn't apply. It's not available to all blocks.
Okay, let's have a look. And this is Carolina's site. If Aruba says, I think it's based on the categories in the block inserter. Just do a search here for border. Okay, I think I'm going to leave that one as an open issue for now. And do a little bit of research offline just so that we can investigate applying border to the social icons block. See, Aruba says definitely not. So can we automatically enable borders for social icons? If not, we'll custom style for the borders. It would be cool to have those borders enabled, because as you said, it would make it possible for folks to create their own borders. Just having a look here. Doesn't seem to be something. Looking for the other block settings, they've moved to the styles tab. Okay. I also noticed that the icons have a hover state. It doesn't look
That's because currently there are no links added to them, so they're kind of disabled.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Okay, well then. Okay, okay. Sorry, I might just sneeze. Give me 1 second. The unsneeze. Okay, so let's pop some URLs in. We'll just make it wordpress.org. And then we'll make this one. The other day, I think it was a live stream. I think I was supposed to write, I think it was the word white, and I put an S instead of W, and that didn't turn out very well. So now I'm very careful about how I type. Twitch.com. Mastodon is probably not a .com. It's probably .org. Mastodon.org. Maybe, I don't know. No, not that one. That is the kind of the weird thing about Mastodon is I can't go to my Mastodon instance because that's whatever the one is that I'm using. So let's just go with mastodon.social, I guess. Where were we? Here we were. Okay, so there's mastodon.social, twitch.com, twitter.com, wordpress.org. Okay, we'll leave that like that. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to create this issue for the borders. That's cool. That's done. We can do some research around that. And then I think I'm going to save this. And then we need to look at that separator. That separator is quite a way across the screen, so I'm guessing we'll put it above the
Hmm.
row inside the group. So this is something that I've just discovered recently, is that if I want to add, I like using the list view quite a lot. If I want to add something inside a group, I have to select the first element inside the group and then say insert before. It'd be really cool if there was an insert inside option, but I guess there's multiple ways to do it anyway. So we'll go insert before. And then this is, I think it's called what is it called?
The separator.
Separator, thank you. So that will be a separator. Okay. And then I'm pretty sure you have some styling around it. Yes, you do. It's 25 pixels wide. So let's do that. Are we able to even do that?
You are selecting the row right now, so if
Oh,
you
sorry. Thank you. Uh, can you come and work along with me every day? Because I do silly things like that all the time.
absolutely.
I see there's a wide line option. I don't know what the difference is. I can't really see what it's
The
doing.
wide line is full width, I
Uh,
believe. Although, you could create any style you wanted for wide line, so wide
true,
line could be.
true. I'm just looking at the background. Doesn't need a color. Dimensions. It's just a margin tool. Which, what does that do? Okay, that does that, which maybe we want a bit of that because we want to be able to skew this a little bit. Um, so here's where things get interesting, because in the design, what you have is you have it starting at that point, but then going right over to the end of the page.
Mhm.
So we might need to do some custom styling for that one, which is going to be interesting. And I love the fact that you did it, but I hate the fact that you did it as well. Okay. What I don't
I think,
see, yeah.
um, yeah, it doesn't look like it has a height on
Yes, I
this.
was I was just gonna say that it doesn't have a height, number one. So we're gonna have to do that as well. I'm gonna be cheating outrageously and not doing all this today. I'm gonna be logging issues for this, and then we can maybe discuss it out in the week, how this might work, and then we can build it next week because it's now coming onto 5 to the hour. So what I'm gonna do for now is I'm just gonna pop the separator in there. I don't know if you want to make the margin that big. I'll just leave it at 2 for now. Um, is there? I just want to see. Is there any other? I'm going to do this. Sit after. Then I just want to have a look at the other options. I think it's only that one. Yeah, there's only the separator and the spacer, which is for white space. So it really is the separator. Yeah, there's nothing else we can use there, so that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I just want to see what this does. Oh, that actually changes the color.
Hmm.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so that does actually change the color. And it gives us margin, and then there's obviously advanced. Okay. Now here's a question. This, let me save this and write it out to the files. And let us have a look at this on the front end. I'm wondering if the separator is going to work for our purposes, because what we're essentially going to have to do is stretch it across
Hmm.
beyond where it currently is.
Yeah.
And I guess that is possible.
We may need to employ a negative margin to do that.
Okay. Okay.
But I would think of it as again, like a custom style
Right.
for.
Right. Okay. So there's the HR. So if I was to try and do that, so you're saying what margin with a negative value?
Mhm.
So I'm guessing it would be right margin negative, or is it left margin negative?
Left.
Left.
Although we could let people choose.
Interesting. So if we made it, let's say 10, what does that do? This is just me brainstorming things here. Oh, that doesn't work. It doesn't like that. Oh, because of, yeah, you see now, this is where.
I think so. It's sort of yeah. I would probably make it full width, do a full width thing, and have the line full width, and then do a negative.
Got it.
That's what I would do. But
Got it.
what do I know?
No, no, more than me, I guarantee you. um, so I just want to see what these are. This, I must say, this is one of the things I love about browser tools is the ability to. So full width then should probably what we should do. This is already full width there. If I'm not mistaken. There's the footer. There's the div. That is already full width. So what I want to have a look at what's being applied to this guy. Okay, that's the body. That's the body. Background color. Block separator. Yeah, I'd like to turn things off. Yeah, that is being applied there.
So the block group that contains all those footer elements is full width, but it also has that layout is constrained. So things are contained sort
Ah,
of within
oh,
that margin.
right. I see what you're saying. Okay, we're gonna have a bit of a brainstorm on that one. There's this layout is constrained. So if I took that out,
So is does
right.
the yeah
So we kind of have
does the
to.
separator sorry.
No, 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 no. It's fine. So we
I,
kind of
I
have
wondered if
to.
the separator has a wide width. Does it allow you to align wide?
Got it. Let's have a look. Oh yes, of course. City boy. Um,
Or wide width would probably work better.
yeah, wide width would probably work better. Let's just see here. There. So if we do that, it's a lot to keep in your head, I must say. And then we can customize it from there. Nice one.
Hmm.
Nice one. Okay. All right. So let's do that. Border. Okay. So we've got that set. So then we will do something like a negative margin. I wonder if we can. Okay, we're coming up to the hour, but give me a second here. So it would be something like margin. What was it? I can't remember. I'm going to try the first one and see what happens. uh, looks like doing that. Looks like setting it wide width doesn't allow us to set the negative margin anymore.
You might try more. Try like, 5 rem or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
There. Okay, so it's margin. There we go. Margin left. So that okay, that gives us that. Okay. That's getting close. Okay, so let me just in case anybody wonders, this is how I tend to figure these things out. I try it in the dev tools and then I copy it into an issue somewhere and then when I have time I code it. Okay, so that'll give us that and then it'll be the horizontal. Okay, cool. So this needs to be applied to the block separator. we might want to do it based on like a custom class or something, but we can figure that one out. So I'm going to pop this in the issue. I am not going to lie, but doing this for 1 hour a week is probably a really daft idea. Because nobody works like this. You know, you sit for about half an hour, unpack everything in your head, and you sit down and you code for like 4 hours or whatever. So anyway, so that's that. That is to do the full width on one side, and then the other one will be the skewing. I'm just gonna call it skewing for now. Trademark Jonathan
So
Bossinger.
if you were to create like custom styles that can be selected in that settings panel, how would you do that for the block theme? I've done it for a hybrid theme where I have like another file like editor.js that lets me create styles for things that can be selected.
So you're not going to like the answer, but that's one of the reasons why I'm doing these live streams is I don't know yet.
Mm.
I'm going to have to just go under my desk quickly because my monitor has just gone off because it's lost power because I need to change something. So give me 2 seconds. Okay, and we're back. So I should just repeat the question because I wasn't fully focusing on what you were saying when you were saying it. What was your question again?
So I asked to create our own custom styles so they could be selected by the user as options. How would we create that? Aruba
Right,
answered in the chat, I think,
right,
that it would be the
right.
same for what I was doing, which is
Yes,
just like an editor.
editor. Yeah, there's a couple of ways I've been thinking about doing it. The one way we could do it is we could create possibly a like an extended version of the block and ship it with the theme.
Mm.
Um, Otherwise, the way that you suggested also works. Um, excuse me, and kind of going back to my original answer, that's kind of why I'm doing this because these are the kind of hiccups that I don't experience anymore because I'm not designing and developing themes anymore. I've never been able to design themes, but I'm not developing themes anymore. So I don't
Mhm.
know how we
Right.
would do those things the new way. So I think it's definitely a discussion that we might want to have. Won't you just again? Sorry, I wasn't 100% paying attention because I was worrying about my screen going off. But won't you just describe the process that you would normally take to solve the problem?
So I create a new file. It's called, I think it's the editor.js file, and
Okay.
in there I can declare custom styles. So basically, you're saying like, um, give me a red horizontal rule, give me a red separator. And so it has like a class, and then you style that
Okay.
however you want. So people then just choose the option, and it will
Okay.
preview the style in the editor also.
Okay. So I guess that's this. Um, no, maybe not.
I'll send you what I do, and Aruba is probably the best source for this
There we
information.
go. Aruba's come through with the
Yeah.
link. Excellent. Thanks, Aruba. Um, yeah, I was thinking about this from the block developer point of view. So I was thinking create a custom block, and then add the functionality that we need for our custom block, and then that can ship with the theme.
Mm.
That might be a bit too much overhead.
Hmm.
So that as I say that's definitely one of the reasons why I am diving into this. So I am going to thanks so much Aruba. You are awesome. I'm going to add that to that ticket. And read through this later. So custom block style is an optional style for a block that you can preview and select from the block settings in the editor. Example of block style is the image block with round corners. So we could probably use this for the social media icons as well.
Hmm.
Okay, this is very cool. Yeah, this probably makes more sense than going and building an entire custom separator. So yeah, this makes total sense to me. Um, so I'm going to follow what the documentation tells me. Okay, so let's go with styling the. I just realized something. Um, that would actually probably make a lot more sense because we don't want to style the separator to always be skewed. We want the user to be able to switch it on and off.
Right.
Yeah, so that makes total sense. Um, yeah, no, I agree. That makes total sense. So styling, or hang on, let's go with adding the ability to style the. What is it called? Is it just called the separator block? Yeah, it's just called the separator block. Separator. Or Aruba, don't you just want to pick up this live stream and just continue developing this for me? I'm joking. I'm literally.
Maybe she should be your next guest if she's up
I
for it.
would I would love to have both of you on. I really would. I would love to have like a little like group chat somehow. Ruba, if you're keen, I don't
Mhm.
know. I don't know if you're keen. I don't know how early it is for you, but it would be great to have additional voices on this because I'm figuring my way along with Emily, and so if you want to join us, you're more than welcome to. It's entirely up to you. Ascending mastermind, yes, absolutely. I'm learning so much already. So if you're keen, let's set it up, and then we'll try and find a better way to do it than using Google Meet because it works. It's okay, but it could be better. Um, when I was setting all this up, I was reading that it might be possible to actually add someone via their Twitch account. So that might be an option. I don't know if you guys
Mm.
are okay with using Twitch and doing it that way. But that might be an option. But yeah, Aruba, if you're keen, it would be awesome to have you join us. I'm going to submit that, excuse me, for now. Um, and then I'm going to make sure that I've saved what I was working on. It has been saved. That's excellent. And then I'm going to make sure my changes have been generated. Those have been done. And then I'm going to make sure my things have been committed. No, that's not right. Gotta remember what my things are. Themes, Sendig. We'll commit, and we'll say adding footer template part. Cool. And then let's put that. What is it? Yay, I remembered. Awesome. Emily, thank you so much for joining me today. It was absolutely lovely having you on board.
Oh, thank you.
If you are keen to keep doing this, I'm keen to keep doing it with you.
Sure, it's fun.
Awesome. And I will spend the next week thinking about. Oh yes, so that reminds me. So next week Tuesday, I am not at work, so I'm probably going to do this on the Monday, if that's cool with you.
Mhm.
Because I'm off on Tuesday because I'm flying to WordCamp Europe for next week. So I'll probably do this on Monday. And between now and then, I'm going to look into better ways of doing this whole, group conversation. Aruba, if you're keen to join us, drop me a message some way or somehow, or I'll just stalk you on Twitter. And if you're keen to join, that would be really cool. Because I think, Emily, you and I agree that Aruba seems to have a lot more knowledge about all this than we do.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So thank you for joining me. It was lovely to. For those of you who don't know, this
Yeah,
is the
thank
first
you.
time. This is the first time Emily and I are actually talking. So it's kind of
Mhm.
a fun thing. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your guidance through today, and I will chat to you in the week, and we'll see you next week.
Excellent. Thanks,
Awesome.
Jonathan.
Awesome. Have a good one.
Bye.